Alright, what's up guys? It's Matt here. How you guys doing today? What's up? I'm back with another Final Fantasy VII Remake video for you guys today. I'm probably just going to call myself Matt for these Final Fantasy VII Remake videos, in case it doesn't really fit that. But anyways, yeah, we have some really interesting Final Fantasy VII rumors right here. This is a big one right here, if this is true. This guy goes into really big detail about what's going to be going on here. So shout out to Stick, who recently made a video on this. I saw his video this morning and I looked at it, and yeah, I thought I had to make a video on this. Shout out to him for originally putting me on to this news right here. But anyways, let's get into it. So recently on the Final Fantasy VII Remake subreddit, there was a post made by a user that's been deleted by now, talking about PlayStation's official Twitter and how they're leaning on Final Fantasy VII Remake really hard right now, leading up to E3. So they're kind of talking about that. And then under it, a user by the name of Steelers4190 makes just this humongous post about all of this apparent information that he has about Final Fantasy VII Remake and what it's going to be doing at E3. Apparently, this guy knows a guy that's really involved in the Japanese gaming journalism scene, and this guy told him about the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer dropping a couple hours before it did a couple days ago, and it was beef for people what happened, what he told him in there. And apparently, he's not been 100% correct in the past, but he told him all this information that's going to be happening about Final Fantasy VII Remake at E3 this year, and that's not the most believable story in the world. Yeah. You know, you have to really take it with a grain of salt, this one. This is a humongous rumor right here. Nothing's confirmed about this at all. But if this guy's telling the truth, which I really doubt he may, here's what's going to be happening, according to him. So let's kind of go down the list of things that he talks about right here and, you know, just kind of do a little read-through of this. So firstly, he talks about Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be getting a huge news blowout at E3 this year. He says when people talk about news blowouts, this is going to be the definition of it. He says there's going to be a big, lengthy gameplay trailer with also a little bit of story stuff in there as well, and that there will be a gameplay demonstration as well. I'm guessing this is all going to be during the Square Enix Showcase live stream that they're going to be holding around that time. And also we're going to be getting a release date, like a hard release date, not a release window or as it's going to be coming soon. No, a release date, and apparently it's going to be in early November 2019. The person wouldn't give him a hard date, but early 2019 is what he told. Moving on, as you all may remember, this game is going to be split up into parts still. You know, it's going to be a little episodic, I think, as how they described it. But according to this guy, it's going to be split into two parts. The first part is going to be ending at the part where Aerith dies, so that's the pretty big point in the game right there in the middle of the game. He says the wait for part 2 is going to be much shorter than the one for part 1. I mean, I would assume so. And also, they're going to be doing some slight tweaks to the story here and there throughout the game, but it's going to be mostly familiar to fans of the game. Next, he talks about towns and cities feeling much more organic this time around. Real roads present, and they feel like they serve realistic functions. A world that feels living, each location feels unique and feels like it exists for a reason. It makes sense that people put up shops there once upon a time when people were settling in Gaia. Also, Yuffie and Vincent will be much more organically tied into the story. This time around, they're going to be mandatory characters instead of optional characters like they were in the original game. So they're going to be much more involved this time around. And this guy would think that would happen because, you know, they are such a big part of Final Fantasy VII media and stuff like that. They were in the movies and also in the Kingdom Hearts stuff. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Lastly, in terms of story, Geneva will still be expanded upon, but they're going to be keeping her origins a mystery. And also, the Sephiroth scene that we saw in the teaser trailer is from the Nibelheim, I'm sorry, I can never pronounce this stuff, Nibelheim flashback and column. He then goes on to talk about some gameplay details right here. So firstly, he talks about limits and how that's going to work. So according to this, it's going to be working similar to like Kingdom Hearts this time around. It's going to be a little bit different than it was in the original game. According to what he's saying right here, I'm guessing what he's talking about is that it's going to be a little bit similar to Kingdom Hearts in a way. You know, it's going to be in just a little bit of a sub menu. I mean, you're still going to have a limit bar and stuff like that, and that will charge up, but you're going to be doing it a little bit differently. You know, they're going to have a little bit more of options, I guess, when it comes to limits and how you use them and stuff like that, which is cool. I guess that would make the game a little bit easier, but I think that'd be a little bit cool. You know, just have limits a little bit more accessible, I guess. He says right here that Cloud's level 1 Braver special attack from the menu, cross/, limit break, and I guess that's how you get to it in the little menu they have going on there. And lastly, he talks about that magic and summon materia will be very familiar in their use. Attaching them allows for the options to show up on the command menu, but you will want to strategically attach materia, as the characters will be a little less like blank slates than they were in the OG. They will have their niches in combat, and constantly utilize them all will be beneficial for players. Trying to just spam one character will not get you very far in the game. You won't want to load your CQC guys with a bunch of magic and weaken their attack and HP stats, since they have to be close to the enemies for melee attacks, whereas characters like Vincent and Barrett could shoulder a little more, since they do not have to be up close and personal to deal melee damage. And that's all the guy told him about the game right here. He says he's not too sure if this is all real either, you know, there's just belief in this guy, so take this with a grain of salt, humongous grain of salt, like I mentioned before. But yeah, if this stuff is true, this is going to be very interesting stuff right here in terms of Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff. So according to this guy, again, there's going to be a huge news blowout for a Final Fantasy VII at E3 this year, with a big old trailer and a big old gameplay demonstration and a release date, hard release date, and early November 2019, which I don't know, I'm just feeling really hopeful about that, you know, just a part of me does not want to believe that Square Enix is going to just be like, hey, it's coming soon, you know, it's gonna be whenever it comes out, like they usually do with this kind of stuff. I have hope for Final Fantasy VII Remake that they got it together and those rumors were false, that it was in development hell, and all that good stuff. So hopefully they can get that together, maybe with it being split into 2 parts according to this guy. Maybe that's going to help along development. I guess that's why they did it. I don't know. He's also talking about, you know, how this game is going to feel more live this time around, and, you know, how the characters are going to get a little bit more involved this time around than they were in the original game, which I would think so, since it's going to be much more expanded than the original game. It's a remake, so obviously, and it's going to be in 3D with voice acting and stuff like that. So I would assume that this stuff would be more expanded upon, since you have a little bit more stuff to work with this time around with the next-gen hardware and stuff like that. So that kind of just makes sense, you know, their involvement in the story. And lastly, talking about that gameplay, he's talking about how it's going to be very familiar to players of the original game, but it's also going to be a little bit tweaked for the new gameplay style, I guess, because, you know, they're going for that real-time gameplay now instead of the turn-based system that they have for the original. So I guess they're going to be making tweaks for that. You know, limits are going to be a little bit different, and I guess magic and summons are going to be pretty much the same, but just the tiniest bit different. But yeah, pretty much the same in terms of gameplay, but it's just adjusted for the new gameplay style, I guess. I guess since Tetsuya Nomura is working on this, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, that's all they talk about in here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video right here. Again, just take this with a grain of salt. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. This is just a big old rumor, but I just want to talk about this because if it's true, I think it's going to be really awesome. So tell me down in the comments below what you think about this news right here. What do you think about these rumors? Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? Do you think we're going to get a release date at E3 this year and a big news blowout? And do you think it's going to be in 2 parts? What do you think about all this stuff right here? Tell me down in the comments below your opinion. Also, make sure to subscribe, like this video, because that'd be really awesome if you did. This is Mickey Central, and I'll see you guys later.